Apple is going to start making its latest
supply chain and looking beyond China.
Considering moving away from China.
Since the COVID-19 outbreak, foreign media have been rife with stories that supply chains are leaving China. Now the big question, are they? Another critical question, has the pandemic reduced or boosted China's appeal for multinationals? And can foreign companies really afford to rely less on Chinese factories? Okay, let's deal with the three questions head on and hear it from the horse's mouth. Listen to foreign business leaders and CEOs of multinationals themselves. Let's start with what we use every day, smartphones and personal computers. We often seem to be bombarded with news that consumer electronics companies such as Apple and Samsung are moving production away from China. But the truth is that even though COVID-19 has been around for nearly 3 years, China remains the world's largest producer and market for consumer electronics. The country makes about 80% of the world's PCs and over 65% of smartphones and televisions. How could that be possible if foreign media vouch otherwise?
中国有比较完整的供应链配套体系，拥有应对全球不确定性因素的条件。目前，中国三星上游合作企业中，60%在中国。中国有强大的物流体系，支撑供应链稳定。中国适宜中产阶层的消费升级，以及中国政府推动的大数据、人工智能、5G 等新基建带来的技术和新与迭代，一定可以为中国内需市场催生新的需求和更广阔的发展空间。未来，三星继续看重中国大市场的发展，不断根据中国国家战略目标的导向和市场需求进行转型升级，努力成为中国构建新发展格局的参与者和推动者。
China boasts a complete supply chain system, a strong logistics system, a big market, and favorable government policies that spur innovation. That's why multinationals such as Samsung swear by China even amid headwinds. These advantages are what China has built up over the past decades, and others can by no means catch up overnight. Then, why are some companies still shifting some production away? In fact, it is more a result of industrial upgrade in China. As the nation continues moving up the industrial value chain, it is natural for many multinationals to readjust their local branches to focus on high-end manufacturing. For instance, Samsung has shifted some low-end production to Southeast Asian countries, and Samsung China has gotten a makeover.
家业化累计投资514亿美金，近5年投资占比43%。中国三星彻底成为了高端装备型企业和供应链型企业，并全面融入了中国的供应链体系。
Samsung is not an isolated case. In fact, now China has greater appeal for foreign companies in advanced manufacturing. In the first 8 months of this year, the actual use of foreign capital in China's high-tech manufacturing increased 43% compared with last year. Now let's turn to Apple. Even a New York Times story admitted the iPhone has gone from a product designed in California and made in China to one that is a creation of both countries. This is a clear sign that China's increasingly innovative talent pool has boosted the nation's impacts on the iPhone, underlining how difficult it will be to reduce reliance on China. China's contribution to global supply chains are not just limited to the consumer electronics industry. As the world's biggest auto market and a major production base for vehicles, the country also affects how global auto factories are running.
Especially amid the EV transformation, a new era of the auto industry is reshaping the global supply chain, and in a significant way. And China is playing a pivotal role in that transition. But let's face it, we live in uncertain times, especially given the impact of COVID and the complex international business environment. But we are confident that we can work together to build stable and resilient global supply chains for a more prosperous world.
Such a willingness to promote international cooperation in supply chains is also shared by Schneider Electric, the French company that specializes in digital automation and energy management. Also has a lot to say.
We believe in globalization and that globalization will stay. China is one of the most important hubs. Our hub, which integrates R&D, supply chain, a full ecosystem of local suppliers and integrators, sales and services, is now Schneider's second largest market on one of the top R&D bases in the world.
The important role China plays in supply chains is also recognized by the US-China Business Council.
China is an attractive location for supply chain integration for several reasons. Most American companies that invest in China are in China for China, and they hope to serve Chinese markets through highly global supply chains that involve both imports and localized production. China's the world's largest manufacturer for many products, and its scale motivates our country. China's ecosystem is strengthened greatly by investments in both infrastructure and talent. We can work together to ensure strong, stable, and resilient global industrial supply chains into the future.
This helps explain what the Wall Street Journal reported earlier this year. For all the talk in Western capitals of reducing reliance on Chinese factories, China, in fact, has in the past 2 years consolidated its position as the world's dominant supplier of manufactured goods. And such a role is of greater importance. As the global supply chains face disruption, commodity prices continue rising, and energy supply remains tight.
U jednom izlaganju, januara ove godine, naš prijatelj predsjednik Xi mudro I dalekosežno je predložio svim nacijama sveta da obezbede globalne lance snabdevanja I spreče inflacione šokove. Da smo tada razumeli šta nam je Xi Jinping poručio, zimski meseci u Evropi sigurno bi lepše izgledali. Čovečanstvo u 22. godini čekaju I drugi gorući izazovi čije rešavanje zahteva uključivanje celokupne svetske zajednice. Ekonomski uspon Kine za ostatak sveta treba da bude inspiracija, a ne izvor straha I frustracije.